Hey YouTube, how's it going? I am back with another 6-scale samurai action figure review, and today I'm going to be taking a look at CooModel's Takeda Shingen. Now when it comes to samurai or knights, CooModel's probably the best in the business right now. They give us very intricately detailed outfits. Every single figure that they produce seems to get better and better, especially when it comes to their samurais, and is just a masterclass in production quality. I can't sing the praises of this company enough, and if you're like me, and your primary interests are in history, fantasy, historical fantasy, stuff like that, and 6-scale action figure collecting, then I'm sure you already have a couple of figures made by this company gracing your shelves, or that you intend to get a couple pretty soon here. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Takeda Shingen by CooModel. Now, Takeda Shingen was a very famous daimyo during the Sengoku Jidai, or the Warring States period. And there's a legend about him. Maybe it's a legend, maybe it's history. It's oral tradition, I believe, mostly. So, who knows how accurate it is, but he was in a battle leading his men, his Ashigaru, and he was attacked by Uesugi Kenshin, another famous daimyo, in the midst of the battle, who this guy has a very long history with, by the way. Uesugi Kenshin, I do not own that figure, but I intend to. And he fended off the sword attacks, the katana, with his iron war fan here. So every figure that is made of this guy seems to always come with this iron war fan. And there is one out by ACI which is based on Takeda Shingen's look in the Koei video games. So Samurai Warriors, Nobunaga's Ambition, those games. And going back to history a little bit, Takeda Shingen was resisting the Oda clan for quite some time before he died, and there's some contention about his death. Maybe he was hit by a sniper, maybe he didn't die, maybe he died and they used a body double, or didn't tell people that he died because they wanted to keep his legend going, because they knew that they had fear on their sides whenever the name Takeda Shingen was attached to something, because this guy is a legend. But enough about him. Let's get into just the raw badassery of this really cool samurai figure. So, first of all, we're going to talk accessories. Here's the Iron War fan. However, in this release, it is just plastic. Just plastic, but it still looks good. And for this character, it is an essential accessory. Now, I spent so long today getting that kabuto and face mask on and getting it to sit securely and properly. I wonder what's going to happen if I turn the flash on real quick. There we go. So I'm not going to be taking that off and showing off the head sculpt. But if you Google search this figure, you can see the unmasked head. And it does look really good. CooModel does a much better job with their Asian likenesses than they do with their European ones. It's a really nice head sculpt, but when you got a big badass kabuto like that, that's how you're going to want it displayed. Let's be real here. So rotating around, there's the face mask with the, I forget the name of that style, but where they have the old man with the mustache. It's really cool, really accurate. I forget, he was called the Tiger of something, so there's a real cool headdress up there, super intricate, and I can't tell if that's metal or what. Maybe it's plastic. It feels sturdy. I'm not worried about it. All of these plates here are metal, and they're woven together, which is accurate to how they would have been in real life. You can see that fine weaving through the metal plates goes through his whole outfit here. That's all metal with the string woven through. These are also metal. Yeah, these are also metal woven through. I think very cool, very heavy. And let's just look at the detail put into that outfit. Look at that patterning under there. You're hardly ever even going to see that, but there it is. And look at the intricate design on the breastplate. Is that supposed to be a tiger? I don't know. That's awesome. This sturdy metal. These little things here, the dressings, you put those on yourself. Again, those are woven separate plates. This over here, just clip that onto the armor. That's not too big of a pain in the ass. The toughest thing with all of these CooModel figures actually is, no doubt, getting those headdresses on tightly and securely. Because you have to tie them up essentially like real samurai did. And what I like to do to get them to sit extra secure is, once I've got it tied around correctly, those 2 double knots, you could also pop that over the chin. I like to bring both the strings around to the back and tie it in the back also to make it secure. And there are instructions included, but they are all in Chinese, which I do not read. So I look at the pictures and try to do my best. His shoulder armor here, same type of thing going on with the woven metal plates. There's a real cool design on the top here. A dragon. And coming around again, let's look underneath it real quick. This is real chainmail attaching that forearm and hand guard to the outfit. So this guy's not coming apart easily, and I have no intention. Luckily for this piece, all of the armor was actually put on the figure prior to taking out of the box. All I had to do was put these little tassel things on, and then the helmet, which took plenty of time, so thank goodness I didn't have to assemble it entirely out of the box. Oh, and I guess I had to mount the swords. Gosh, all that is just, it's really cool to see something so intricate come from a company in production. That quality is absurd. The paintwork is really nice. Slight wearing, maybe it's blood spatter. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be, but it looks great. I'm not sure if I did this correctly, and I'm probably not going to go back and change it if I didn't, which I don't think I did. But this is a tachi, not a katana, so the sword blade is correct in pointing down. It's quite a bit longer and quite a bit more curved than a katana. It's all real metal alloy, and it sits right nicely there. I don't think it's as key to the character as his Iron Warfan is, but if you're going more for just having a real cool looking samurai on your shelf, then yes, the quality of this Tachi sword will not disappoint. Now, he does have some trouble getting those arms splayed out in crazy poses just because of how thick and layered this outfit is. But if you're willing to work with it, this figure will absolutely do what you want it to do. Take that out and slide it in there. There we go. He has a wakizashi as well, which I mounted like a wakizashi. Same thing, a real big curve on that, matching the tachi, but a much shorter blade wrapped through the belt there. He comes with these prayer beads, which you can have on the figure or not. These are easy. You just slide them up and over to get them on there, and they sit and look nice. Coming down to the feet, more intricately mounted armor pieces, real cool padding in there, and these feet are solid metal, so they look pretty good. There's some designs going on in there, but they also help the figure stand quite well. So I'm actually going to take it off its base here, which he comes with, which I like. I display all of my figures with bases, whether or not they come with a base. Boom, he stands just fine. But whether or not they come with a base, I always add one to them, just for the assurance. I hate, coming home from a long day of work and one of my intricately posed figures is all toppled over in my display case. And that's just the worst thing. So now I'm going to try to get him into a real deep, cool looking samurai stance. There. Get those knees bent. Oh, one sec. I just noticed something I didn't notice before. But even the pants underneath has some real awesome patterning to it. That's great. So, he's in a real deep stance here. Get that wakizashi out. There we go. There. Get him looking off to the side a little bit. Possibly looking at one of his enemies. There. So this is all without a stance. And this guy, could I get a cooler pose going? Yeah, probably if I had some time. But I'm trying to make a review that's not 40 minutes long. So look at that. Holds up just fine all by himself. No stand or nothing. Real deep stance. Holding that sword. Ready to mow through Uesugi. That's awesome. So, yeah. I guess if I'm going to summarize this real quickly, this is just one of those pieces that CooModel has knocked out of the park. And if you've been collecting their Samurai series of Empires figures for a while now, you know that they just keep getting better and better with higher and higher qualities of pieces coming out. I remember when I first got a hold of their Sanada Yukimura, which I own now, but at the time, it was just my friend who bought it. Not because Sanada Yukimura is necessarily a cool character, which he is. Sanada Yukimura is dope and one of the greatest samurai warriors in history. But I thought, wow, this has got to be the echelon of 6-scale production. This is insane. But honestly, what they've done here, they've blown that piece out of the water. Here, 1 second, I'll actually go get it real fast. Get Sanada Yukimura. Okay, here we go. It's tough. There. Sanada Yukimura has this crazy horned headdress. So I always gotta dip him down real low if I'm gonna get him to fit in the light box, or put him in there without a base, I guess. But now let's look at the differences in quality of this. So now it's a very eye-catching figure still to this day. I think it's 3 or 4 years old now. I'm not entirely sure, but look at the difference in detail. Look at just how fine everything is. Yes, he still uses all the stitching on the armor, but the designs in there, the hues of the gold, like this, you could tell this is just, some paint thrown on there. There's not really any shading to the armor. No shading going on here. There's splatter. There's hues in the gold. That design is just cut way nicer. Down here, this is pretty comparable. The skirt pieces, the woven metal plates again. But all these are actual individual chunks here. This is just a hard plastic sort of shell strapped on. This company is just improved, and I can't imagine what their series of Empire figures are going to look like another 3 years from now if they keep this up. Right now, they're already giving us stuff that I never thought we'd be seeing at, and admittedly, not a cheap price point, but it's wow. And these guys look really cool together. So, Sanada Yukimura was famously Shingen Takeda retainer. So his family essentially worked for his family or paid loyalty to his family. So these two would have definitely been allies on the battlefield. And now I can have them both in my 6 scale display, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, if you're in the market for a badass samurai action figure to grace your 6 scale collection, look no further than CooModel. And possibly look no further than CooModel's Takeda Shingen, because this guy does not disappoint on any level, nor does CooModel in general. So that about sums it up. If you want to get a dialogue going in the comments, then absolutely, please do let me know. And I'd love to talk to some of you guys. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay collecting. Bye-bye, y'all.